Hey there YouTube, welcome to our channel, Roaming Wild Settlers. I'm Nick, and behind the camera there is my wife Paige. Now today's video is going to be about the issues we're having with our slide out. Now, if you don't know anything about us, we do live full-time in a 28-foot travel trailer, and we've spent the last summer here in Island Park, Idaho. We're about ready to head out going south to Texas. We leave in about a week. I'm actually going to Texas to become a certified RV technician, but unfortunately we are having issues with our slide out before I was able to get down there and learn the things I need to learn to fix everything. So our problems with the slide out, I'm basically trying to figure it out as I go, and I'm going to walk you guys through the process that I went through in order to diagnose the issue and hopefully resolve it. So we went through a checklist, getting everything ready to hit the road, tire pressure, greasing wheel bearings, sealing up the roof and windows and all that good stuff. The last thing we checked was our slide out and make sure that when the day came to pack up and leave, our slide out would actually come in and we'd be able to hit the road. Because if you don't know this already, you cannot travel with a trailer or an RV when your slide outs are out. It's against the law and the law of physics, basically. You're gonna have a lot of wind messing with you if you do that. So we came over here to the switchboard, right, just to test out the slide out, and nothing, no power at all. Okay, so for me, not being a certified RV tech and not even really being savvy with how all the electrical systems work, I'm thinking, where do I go from here? So I got on YouTube and I looked at some other videos about slide outs, and I learned that the slide out system we have is a Schwintek, and you might have a different one, but if you have a Schwintek, then this video could help you out a lot, and maybe even another system, it might be similar. Our trailer is a Keystone Bullet Ultra Lite 2015, and specifically it's the rear kitchen model, which I believe is 248 RKS is what it's called. Okay, so for this model, every RV has a control box for the slide out, and for this model, ours is located underneath the kitchen sink. So I'll take you down over here and show you where that is and what it looks like. I think most of them are pretty similar. There might be some differences depending on what kind of RV or trailer you have. So when I hit that switch and nothing happened, I came here to see if this box would tell me what the problem was. So typically, if this box is getting power to it, there'd be a green light flashing to tell you what your issue is. And there's instructions here that explain what the blinking lights mean and how to diagnose the problem. So one blink is for motor 1, 2 blinks is for motor 2. But since there are no blinking lights, I thought, okay, I don't know, maybe it's just not doing that, or maybe there's no power to it. So I also learned that you can do a manual override with this box here, and I'm not exactly sure how the override works, but I've seen videos where their slide out wasn't having any response, wasn't going in or out, and they did the manual override, went back to the switch, and it worked fine. So if you are trying to figure out the problem with your slide out, you can come to your power box here, and inside this little square hole right there, there's a little gray button that if you push it 6 times and then hold it on the 7th push, you will see flashing lights, red and green, going back and forth. Now, that means that the override is activated, and you can go back and use your switch and open your slide out, and then from there, I'm not sure, get something fixed, but it's a manual override, and that's where you do it here. Okay, so we came down here to see if we could either diagnose the problem, see if it was one of the motors, and if not, then maybe do a manual override and just get the slide out in. So as you can see, there's no power to this. Okay, so that was about the extent of what I discovered on YouTube, is how to resolve this issue. All the videos kind of just take you to the control box and explain what the blinking lights mean and how to do a manual override. Now, since there's no power to the switch is dead, there's no power to the switch, no power to the control box, I thought to myself, okay, maybe there's a blown fuse somewhere. So, trying to find the fuse for the slide out. Now, our fuse box is down here. And as you can see, none of these fuses are labeled for the slide out. So just to make sure, I went through and pulled every fuse out of there and looked at it to make sure they weren't blown. And they were all good. Okay, so then I get back on YouTube and I try to figure out where the fuse might be for the slide out, because I'm convinced it's a fuse. And this is me not knowing a lot about electrical. So I learned that it could be an inline fuse. Now the inline fuse is typically located in the front end of the trailer. I guess it's referred to as the tongue, where it comes together to the hitch. And it's usually along the frame there somewhere, and ours is not. So other videos, they're like, yep, it's just right here. See, just, oh, fuse is blown, replace it, good to go. We didn't have a fuse there out in the open. And there was, you know, the breakers and the breakaway switch to hit the brakes if your trailer comes unhitched or something like that, but no fuse. So then we come inside the trailer to the inside of the slide out, and at the bottom of that there is, you know, some baseboard or fascia or whatever you want to call it there. And I can see under there were some wires and some, you know, encasements or compartments that look like maybe there was some fuses in there. So I thought maybe they had the inline fuse, you know, inside the trailer at the bottom of the slide out. We took that panel off, checked out the wiring, no fuses. So at this point I'm stumped. I don't know what it could be. And like I said, I don't understand how all the electrical systems work yet. So I went to our friend Dave, who is a certified RV tech. He told me it could be the battery or it could be a pinched wire. But first things first, check the battery. So I got a load tester. I checked the battery and it was bad, actually. So I'm thinking, okay, it's probably a battery issue. So before even thinking further, we just go down and get a new battery and we come back. Now I'm thinking, well, what if, you know, because apparently even if you're plugged into shore power, the shore power comes through the converter and then travels through the battery system and runs your trailer. So I'm thinking, well, maybe it could be a converter and the converter's not charging the battery, because when you're plugged into shore power, or if your trailer's plugged into the back of your truck, it should be charging the battery. So I'm thinking, okay, maybe the converter is bad and it just hasn't been charging the battery. So I hooked the truck up to the battery and tried charging it that way, and it didn't take a charge at all, like at all. So I'm thinking, okay, it's definitely the battery. Converter's probably fine. So we swap out the old battery for the new, hook everything up, and I'm thinking, okay, hopefully this does it. Come back inside, hit the switch, and nothing. So not the battery, not the converter, not a fuse, so maybe a pinched wire. So I talked to my buddy Dave, and he, like I said, he's a certified RV tech, so he has a lot of tools that I don't have yet. I just purchased kind of the basic stuff to get started. But he has a tool called a cattywomple. Now, what that does is it allows you to come back over to the control box. And now, there was two purposes for the cattywomple, and that was to see if it was a pinched wire or if the motors were bad. So what you do is you unplug these two wires here, this one and this one, that's motor 1 and motor 2, and you plug those into the cattywomple and you fire that thing up and it brings your slide in and out, and it's, I guess, basically like a real manual override. So the purpose of that was that if it was a pinched wire, we could bring the slide out in and back out and back in and hopefully unpinch whatever wire was pinched. Now, fortunately, when we did that, it worked as far as bringing the slide in and out. So we know it's not the motors. Now, if it is the motors, and you see that with the blinking lights, just so you know, your motors are going to be located behind your slide out here on the top corner here, and then on the top corner here inside. And you would have to get your slide out in a fair bit just to access those motors and pull them out. So that would be probably quite the job if the motors are dead and your slide out's all the way out, trying to get it in just a little bit to swap the motors out. But luckily we didn't have to do that. The motors were working. So when he plugged it in, we brought it in and out a few times and thought, okay, if it's a pinched wire, that should have unpinched it. So we went back to try to use the switch to bring it in. Still nothing. Okay, so it's not a pinched wire, it's not the battery, it's not the motors. So basically what would be left is either the switch itself is bad, or there is a wiring issue somewhere along the line, which after looking for the fuse and the wires would be along the frame of the trailer, encased in the floor somewhere. That'd mean going underneath, cutting a hole in from below and finding the source of the wiring issue. So before we do that, we want to make sure it's not the switch. So what we did was we took off the switch panel. You got these screws here, about 6 screws, okay? Took this panel off and tested the switch with the multimeter. Okay, so what we found with the multimeter and the switch was we were getting power all the way to the switch. So the incoming electrical flow was good. So that means everything up there electrical wise is working up to the switch. And now he tested the outgoing flow of electricity, which would be outgoing from the switch down to the control panel, which, as you saw earlier, doesn't have power to it. So theoretically, we figured the switch is the problem, right? It's getting electricity to it, but there's nothing coming out of it. So we went on Amazon and found a new switch. And I will post the link to that switch in the description in case you have a similar setup as we do. So this here, this is the new switch. Now, as you can see, this one has this kind of frame around it that says it's for the slide room in and out. But as you can see up here, there isn't really room for that, just this inside part. So then if you come back over here, you can see this has some, I don't want to push it back in all the way because it's kind of tough to get off. But 2 clips here and 2 clips here, which is kind of hard because you have to push with both hands and then get this thing off. But if you can push these clips in, you know, that comes right off. So now we have a switch that works with that switch, right? Okay. So the description will have a link to where you can find this on Amazon, $20. If this is the problem, $20 fix, awesome. If not, then we're going to use the cattywomple to bring the slide out in, and it's going to stay in until I go to this RV tech school and learn about the electrical systems so I can confidently go into the trailer, cut into the floor, and resolve the issue with the wiring. So today is the moment of truth. We're going to install this switch, and hopefully once this new one is installed, the slide out will be working just fine. If not, then this will be the end of this little repair job for now, and we'll just bring it in with the cattywomple, and like I said, leave it in until I go through the course and learn how to correctly deal with the electrical issue. So yeah, we're going to go ahead and take this panel off and get behind here, and it should be as easy as just unplugging the bad switch, plugging the new one in, and good to go. So we're going to do that right now. All right, so for this little job, really all you need is a Phillips head screwdriver. The rest can just be done by hand. So I got this, let's see, Pittsburgh tool set where it came with a nice little screwdriver set. Now this bag here, the school that I'm going to, they offer up a variety of courses. You can do the 1-week course, which basically turns you into an educated RV owner to where you can fix your own stuff. Now after that course, you can pay to take a test, which then registers you as a RV technician, and you can make a business out of it. If you don't take the test, then you just kind of have the skill sets and the knowledge to fix your own RVs. Now, if you do take this class, they give you a tool list of basically the essentials to get started, right? So just a quick look. I had a lot of these already, and some of them I just got new ones just to start fresh. But, you know, all impact driver, and down here you have a multimeter inside there to test like we did with the switch to make sure it was getting power. And then, you know, the ratchet set, didn't even say anything about needing these, but I just have this in there because we use it for our tongue jack that is not working either. You have this like meat thermometer thing that they say you need, which I'm assuming is for your wheel bearings to make sure they're not getting heated up or something like that. You know, you got your wire crimper here and multimeter tools or adaptions, headlamps, needle nose. You know, this came with the impact driver, which this little thing's pretty nice. You can use it around corners and stuff like that. And then didn't say we needed this, but a little crescent wrench just because. And some wire cutters, tape measure, you know, just pretty basic stuff. But yeah, we'll provide that in the description too. Just the tool list that they say is the bare minimum to be able to work on your own RV. All right, so that's that. Now we're just going to come over here and take this panel off. And these aren't in very tight. They're not really long screws, so it doesn't take much to get them out. All right, now let's see if I can just get this off with my finger. Yep. Okay. Set that down and grab this other switch here. Okay, now one thing you'll notice is this basic switch here. This basic switch here doesn't tell you which one is in or out, right? So if you were to install it upside down, then when you pushed out, it would come in and vice versa, right? So when this is on there, it comes telling you which one is in and which one is out. So you might want to take note of that and try to keep that straight before you pop this thing off. If not, if you do what I did and just set it down and forgot which side is which, then, you know, I think with the prongs here, you can kind of figure out which way it's supposed to plug in depending on how it looks inside there. Okay, so we're going to take this off. Flip that off just for... Now, if you heard that, something's going on with this vent here. This fan hasn't worked since we got this RV, but apparently something in here when it gets moved around kicks that on. So I don't know which one that is, but maybe that's a whole nother video figuring out how to get that sorted out. Let's see, I move this around, it goes off and on. Okay, now if you want to come around here, you can see, so this is the switch here, the front of it. This is the back of it. So we'll take this and just unplug it. Maybe. Pretty sure. Kind of afraid to just yank it off, but and it's slowly coming off. Okay, so now that there, now we see, put the switchboard back upright and take a look at how this is here. So that's how we want to put it in, right? So this should just pop off the switchboard with these clips here. You can see same as it was with that little frame it was in. So I'm going to pop this off and put this in just like it is there. So I'm going to set this down. Okay, so we got that out. Put the new one in. Okay, pretty simple, just clicks right in. And this can only go on one way because you got 3 and 2. So we're going to plug that in. Okay, so the new switch is installed. All right, now I'm just going to go ahead and put this back up because even if the switch wasn't the issue, let's see, kind of curious. I really have no idea which wire is making that fan turn on, but I would like to
keep it on.
Keep it on. Okay, so that's good. Got that on. Now, let's just put the screws back in for now. Just at least to hold it in place. And we want to get our giant Great Dane out of the way of the slide out, so when we go to test it, it actually comes out or in.
You want the other 2 screws or no?
No, let's just keep it right there for now. Okay, so
move the dog.
Hey buddy, you gotta get up so we can see if this slide out comes in at all. Okay. You wanna go to our bed? Come on, let's go. Come on. Just go to bed. No, not there. No. Over there. Go to ours. No. Come on, Huck. We can't pull this in. You're too heavy. Come on, let's go. Up. Let's go. Come on, let's go. Come on, let's go. Up here. Come on, let's go. Good boys. Okay, stay there. Stay there. Okay. Now, one of us kind of holds this up while the other one pushes the button. So I'm going to hold this up, and yep, Paige is going to push the button. Moment of truth.
Okay,
You ready?
Here it goes. No.
I'm gonna do what you all think I'm gonna do, which is just flip out.
Nothing.
Okay.
Bummer.
Yeah, big bummer. So, looks like what we're going to be doing is having Dave come over with his cattywomple, bring the slide out in, and it's going to stay in until we get down to Texas and figure out how to fix it. So, welcome to full-time RV life. This is us working on our slide out in real time. We'll keep you updated with another video. But as for now, hopefully you learned a bit of the process with diagnosing the issue with your slide out. And as far as I know, the only thing to try from here is to get up under the trailer and cut holes in the floor and look at the wiring. And we never did find the inline fuse, so maybe I guess it still could be a fuse. I don't know if you are watching this and you have any idea, go ahead and comment and help us out a little bit. Otherwise, we're going to be traveling in the next 2 weeks with no slide out and a Great Dane. So it should be interesting. A little cramped, but we'll make it through. So yeah, there's a day in the life of full-time RVing. It's not all rainbows and sunshine and traveling and good times. There's a lot of frustrating maintenance that you got to go through. So yeah, stay tuned, like, subscribe, to get notifications when our next video comes out. And it may be a few weeks before we get back to this slide out, but we will have a video for you, and we will tell you what it ended up being and how we fixed it. So thanks for watching, and stay tuned.